it's thermal imaging day to day. I don't fully know what to expect from it because I've not done anything like this before. So I thought I'd bring you guys along and see what it entails, and I'll also add the findings onto this as well. I'm probably going to give it to my vet and then ask for their opinions with the bone scan and x-rays that we've already got in mind, and then see what they say. But yeah, that's all there is to it really. So let's get ready.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Oh, yeah. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me.
So the process was pretty good. The guy was really thorough. I didn't follow everything, my bad. I'll explain later. But all in all, I found it really interesting. Okay, so after the thermal imaging is done, a couple of days later, you get 2 images. So you get a full left, right, front, back view of your horse in a thermal map. And then you get a picture of what the thermal imager person actually picked up as slightly abnormal. Arthur says hello. Hi. So yeah, you get those two, as well as an explanation about what they feel might need some additional attention. The thing that I found the most interesting was actually Arthur's feet. So I didn't actually fully appreciate that thermal imaging can be used for hoof balance. So I've done quite a lot of research and watched quite a lot of presentations on YouTube, and it kind of shows, the thermal imaging kind of shows what is actually going on with Arthur. Sorry, that's Chippy. Shows what's kind of going on with Arthur. So I felt like his front feet were in a lot better position than his hinds, and I've noticed that he generally just stands square on his fronts, whereas he's a little bit camped under on his hinds, but he is actually getting a lot better with those. But it shows that the heat is pretty consistent in his front hooves, which seems to support the idea that the x-rays had a lot better alignment than they have done in previous x-rays, and the fact that he's actually standing better. His hinds had quite a lot of heat towards the back, and according to the research that I've looked into, this kind of translates to either navicular or heel pain or just pressure in the heels. And we already know that Arthur has, sorry, it's very noisy, there's a plane going overhead. We already know that Arthur used to be NPA, and that's gradually getting better, so that kind of goes with that. And then he picks up something on Arthur's hind, on his left leg, I think, left hind, but I did actually check, and he actually had a tick bite, so I'm not even sure if it picked that up. I'm not fully sure. He didn't pick out anything to do with the stifles or to do with the hocks, which I thought was really good, because obviously x-rays showed that he had stifle abnormalities, and x-rays showed minor changes to the hocks, and bone scans corroborated the hocks, but the vet felt that it was so insignificant that he didn't think it was an issue right now. And his stifles didn't actually show up on the bone scan. So if I hadn't have had him x-rayed, I wouldn't have been any the wiser. So the fact that those weren't actually identified on the thermal imaging, I'm taking as a bit of a positive that what the vet has said is true. So that was good. He did spot something on his neck, but x-rays and bone scans have not brought anything up in the neck, so I don't feel like there's any issue. Like, Arthur is an idiot in the field generally, so like, you know, he at least hurts himself at least once a month. And then his back is an interesting one. So first glance at the pictures, you would think, oh my god, that's horrendous. But when you actually start to research and you actually start to really understand, you start to get a bit more confused. Now, I made a big boo-boo and I totally forgot that Arthur's back is clipped, right? It's clipped. And I totally forgot. So his clip on the top matches the length of hair and the fineness of it with his trace clip. So you can see in this photograph just how much of a difference the clipped area comes up compared to the unclipped area. And I think this is kind of something that's gone on with his back. But then in the report, the guy explained that darker markings show up darker as well. So the big, like the little, it's like a little triangle on the right hand side of his spine. I thought, oh crap, that might actually be maybe heat from the facet joint. But he's got two massive black spots, black patches of skin, and obviously black hair. So I think it's potentially that. Now, there was 2 points identified, and that actually might be the kissing spines, right? But the thing is that everything, in my opinion, is probably more concentrated in terms of the heat map than what it would have been. So would that have even been picked up if he hadn't have been clipped in that area? I'm not sure, because the actual red follows the clip. So the clip comes along his spine and then it peters off, and the actual thermal map does exactly the same thing. So it's my fault. I just totally forgot about that. I totally forgot. And it does say in the prep, you saw me do the prep at the beginning of the video. One of the preps was to make sure that the horse is evenly clipped, and I forgot. I just totally forgot. I concentrated on the trace clip. I thought it won't be a problem. There's no there's no places of interest in the areas where he's clipped. Totally forgetting about his back. So it looks interesting, but I just can't, it's not reliable because he's clipped in that area, and you can still see the clip. Like here's a picture. It's kind of pretty much mostly come out now because I've been trying to brush his winter coat out, but you can see that the clip was still there even a couple of days after. So make sure if you go down thermal imaging, make sure that you just make sure that you are disciplined with that, because it will affect what you want to get out of it. So there's also light that comes into Arthur's stable as well. So who's to say that that isn't basically heating up his back as well? You just don't know. I do think that it's good, especially if you do have obvious lameness. I would say it's very worthwhile. I actually wish that I'd done this before I'd gone down all the x-ray route and gone down the bone scan route, because it's very expensive and I don't have I was lucky that I'd actually had a savings fund for if anything went wrong, rather than putting it into insurance. But I could have saved myself a lot of money just by doing this thermal imaging when he did have issues, and see if there was any spots to focus on. From what I've read, it is a little bit of a subjective thing, and you can determine, you have to set parameters within the machine, and that then brings up the temperature mapping. So just because something's red doesn't mean that it's inflammation. It just means that that is hotter than the yellow or the green. So it could be a difference of a degree between yellow and red. So think of it like that. So I don't look at these images and I think that hurts, that hurts, that hurts. I've used it to try and just help build a better picture with bone scan and x-rays to try and support Arthur, and it has told me about his feet, and I'm more convinced now that dealing with his feet is a good thing. And to be honest, he's going fantastic. I've never felt Arthur in the way that he is right now. I've never felt it. I absolutely love it. I love seeing his little ears. Sorry. I love seeing his ears pricked because I'm just so not used to it. The husband did turn around the other day when we were out on a ride, and he says, I remember you saying to me, Rach, when we were out, our horse is normally this scowly. And that's when I first got him. But all in all, yeah, the thermal imaging, I think, is an awesome tool to use with other things. It's not a diagnostic tool. It's something that can help you pinpoint problem areas, especially with potentially like tendon or ligament issues or muscle strains or anything like that. That might actually help, because normally with thermal imaging you look for asymmetry, so you're not saying, oh, that's red, so that means that hurts. You're looking for asymmetry in the patterns, and I did notice that there was a bit of a difference between his front and hind legs, a difference between his left and right hind leg. I am actually going to check them just now. Let's have a look. So they're actually even at the minute, they're fine. But it's something to watch out for. I watch him trot and things like that in the field and he's fine. He looks fine, so, but that is something that I spotted on after learning, like reading so many articles and watching so many presentations. I'm just, my legs have gone numb. So I'm going to sit. I've noticed that, so that is something else to consider. But like I say, I'm not reading into anything because Arthur's feeling fabulous, and I do the back checks. And he's not responding, and his muscles are coming up. His muscles are lovely and plump, and the areas which I was worried about, those are also coming up. So yeah, but I would definitely do it again. I might do it again, probably not this year, but I might do it, I will do it again when his coat is all even, because it's not, and his winter coat is still coming out. You can still see the trace clip. You can still just about see it. But it makes a big difference on the thermal mapping. I've also just noticed that there is a draft in here. So Arthur had the thermal imaging here, and drafts can alter the results as well. So you have to be strict if you want to get good quality data out of it, and that's on our shoulders. It's not on the thermal imager person that you choose. I'm actually just standing here, and Arthur has basically put himself to sleep. And I'll show you what I mean about the way he stands. He's standing square on the front, and he's slightly camped in the hinds. And I think this is just down to his hoof balance. He never used to stand so well in the front. So I'm just going to see how these pads work. And if he's still struggling, I think his feet have started to recover enough. The bars do seem to be growing straight, I think. So I feel confident enough now to at least manage those bars, like at least do that, which will prevent the lameness that I see when I leave his bars. So I might even just take the shoes off. But yeah, hopefully that's been interesting, and I'll catch you on the next one as always. Bye.